r/AskReddit. What short story completely mind-ducked you? Coffins used to be built with holes in them, attached to 6 feet of copper tubing and a bell. The tubing would allow air for victims buried under the mistaken impression they were dead. Harold, the Oakdale gravedigger, upon hearing a bell, went to go see if it was children pretending to be spirits. Sometimes it was also the wind. This time it wasn't either. A voice from below begged, pleaded to be unburied. "You Sarah O'Bannon?" "Yes." The voice assured. "You were born on September 17th, 1827? "Yes." "The gravestone here says you died on February 19th. "No, I'm alive. It was a mistake. Dig me up. Set me free. Sorry about this, ma'am," Harold said, stepping on the bell to silence it and plugging up the copper tube with dirt. "But this is August. Whatever you is down there, you ain't alive no more. And you ain't coming up. In Russia, coffin has pipe for air and bell with string. If man is true Soviet he does not die. When buried yells for undertaker and rings bell. Is no wind. Undertaker says, "Are you Lady Gorbachev?" Voice says, "Da." Born of winter 1927? Da. Gravestone says died the 20th of February 1957 apostrophe. Neat. "I'm still living. I'm sorry. Is August. In June ground thaw. You must wait for June. And woman is true Soviet. Waits for June. Only potato live underground." The John by Stephen King. Mind-duckingly terrifying. I'm glad I saw this one on the list. Holy hit. That was terrifying. Longer than you think, Dad. Longer than you think. Number long jaunt. Duck that story. Man. I actually shouted duck yes when I saw it in this thread. There will come soft rains. I think it's Ray Bradbury. The scene with the dog haunts me. Oh man, is this the one about the house that lives on? God, we read this in middle school. It's unsettling. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Where the house performs its automated tasks regardless of the fact that the inhabitants are dead, and then the house burns down. For some reason I remember the exact date of August 4th, 2026. The Rats in the Walls by H.P. Lovecraft. I had a book of all different stories from him as a kid. Freaked me out, but I couldn't stop reading them. In the same vein, Pickman's Model. It was the first story where I finished it and immediately wanted to shove it into everyone else's face and get them to read it too. Pickman's Model was the story that really made me a Lovecraft fan. I remember reading it in the bathtub as a kid, and when it was done I was like, "That it? Okay," and going to bed. Then at 1 AM laying in bed thinking, holy crap. An elderly man was sitting alone on a dark path. He wasn't sure of which direction to go, and he'd forgotten both where he was traveling to and who he was. He remembered absolutely nothing. He suddenly looked up to see an elderly woman before him. She grinned toothlessly and with a cackle spoke, "Now your third wish. What will it be?" "Third wish?" The man was baffled. "How can it be a third wish if I haven't had a first and second wish?" "You've had 2 wishes already," the hag said. "But your second wish was for you to forget everything you know." She cackled at the poor man. "So it is that you have 1 wish left. Alright," he said hesitantly. "I don't believe this, but there's no harm in trying. I wish to know who I truly am." "Funny," said the old woman as she granted his wish and disappeared forever. "That was your first wish. Now that's a dumb way to waste 3 wishes." Flowers for All German. Absolutely this. The best part is, it's written from a first-person perspective. So you get to see Charles' intelligence rise and fall from inside his head. Great story. Stupid science-itch cult make I more smarter. Yellow wallpaper. It just emptied my soul out. Also the lottery. A good man is hard to find. Did you just finish the fiction section of a sophomore lit class in college? Dang. I was going to guess high school applet. Good one. Guts by Chuck Palahniuk. From his novel Haunted. All Summer in a Day by Ray Bradbury. Just opened up Guts in another tab. Holy. Ducking. Hit. Yeah. That's a story I'll only read once. The Most Dangerous Game. Double Mind Duck. content-wise, and when I finally realized that game can mean a type of animal or prey, the title foreshadows the ending. To my defense, English is my second language. This is probably obvious to native speakers. Spoiler. This is probably obvious to native speakers. I've been speaking English ever since I could talk. And I just realized this. The cleverness of language is often best seen by people like you. Those who had to learn English as a second, third, or fourth language. So don't sell yourself short. I don't remember the title. It was about a man who woke up one day, and there was a stranger in the mirror and all other reflective surfaces. Everyone else recognized him just fine. 3 days later, he's relieved to see that his reflection is his own again. Unfortunately, no one he knew recognized him at all. That story ducked me up. To this day, more than 20 years later, I will not have a mirror in my bedroom, or anywhere that I'm likely to see my reflection in a dark room. I know exactly what story you are talking about. It's called The Mirror, and it was included in the book Tales for the Midnight Hour by J.B. Stamper. I remember reading this story as a kid, and it creeped me out as well. Upvote for you both, because while everyone kept rereading the scary stories to tell in the Dark series, I was wide-eyed over this book I had found secondhand. And the sequel. I nearly forgot about these until I tried to sleep with the blinds open one night and I remembered the jigsaw puzzle. Thank you guys. The yellow wallpaper. That moment after you finish and you suddenly realize what happened. Oh, I still don't know what happened. Is it a message about mental illness? A really subtle metaphor? The Star by the Sea Fee legend Arthur C. Clarke. It's about a Jesuit priest serving on a spaceship going to explore a local area around a dead supernova. Everything in that system was vaporized when the star blew. But there is one damaged wreck of a planet left at the far outer reaches, where they are hoping to find some clues about what was there. The explorers have found relics of a beautiful and advanced civilization which got to that planet from their own one closer to their sun. So had some impressive level of tech. But they did not achieve interstellar travel and couldn't leave their system. So everyone perished. Knowing they couldn't leave, they left a kind of time capsule on that last planet as a record they existed. The story is a long entry of the priest's journal where he argues over the value of religion, can't say much more without giving away too much. Turns out when they date the supernova, it was the Star of Bethlehem. So, Eli 5. God in his infinite wisdom wiped out one amazing, advanced, peace-loving civilization to bolster our own hitty one instead. Spoiler. This is my favorite story from that anthology. The 9 Billion Names of God is probably my most favorite Arthur C. Clarke short story. The last line of that is chilling. Clarke was brilliant. I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him. Another him. Under the bed. Staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." Written by u/Justana Thermophilvo. Originally by Joan J. Roos. I always hated reading this. It just sends chills down my spine each time. But then again, it could just be twins playing around. But if there's no twins, then yay. Thanks for the nightmares. An occurrence on Owl Creek Bridge. La Noche Boca Oriba by Julio Corteza. It starts with a man laying on the ground after have gotten into a motorcycle accident that is falling in and out of consciousness. Every time he closes his eyes, he awakes to being chased by an indigenous tribe in the Amazon rainforest. He's eventually caught and is placed on a concrete slab, awaiting to be sacrificed. When he closes his eyes again, he awakens back on the ground at the scene of the motorcycle accident. He continues to alternate between realities to the point where he can't decipher between reality and dream. The story ends with him being conscious while the indigenous tribe is cutting open his body. Yes. Also, La Isla Mediadia. Agreed. And Axolotl and Cantanuda de los Parks and La Autopista del Sur. He's got a gift for writing unsettling twists. It's not on here, but Harrison Bergeron really spoke to me in high school. It made clear the absurd conclusion of making everyone equal. That story still haunts my subconscious. They made all the 8th grade honors kids read it. Making a bunch of gifted kids read a story about being punished for being exceptional is mildly sadistic. It has no title. For sale. Baby shoes. Never worn. Simple. Runk by Zoramas and ducking up. The Mystery of Irigama Fort. The Enigma of Migara Fault. Edit. Shout out to /u/Gunnife for actually knowing the damn title XD. Basically a manga where everyone finds the perfect hole. The Enigma of Migara Fault. I agree with you about the story. Although you really buffed the title. A classic. But Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man is hard to find really gut punched me when I read it. I definitely did not expect that ending. The Library of Babel and the Mirror and the Mask. Both by George Louis Borges. The Zahi did it for me. The main character receives a coin that becomes an obsession. He finds out it is an item from Islamic folklore that consumes the attention of whoever comes into contact with it. In times past it took the shape of a tiger, a extant, a vein of marble, etc. Just so weird. Really felt like it expanded my boundaries.